The 2024 U.S. presidential election offers a stark contrast in leadership styles. In one corner stands Donald Trump, the businessman-turned-politician known for his brash pronouncements and unconventional approach. In the other, we have Kamala Harris, a seasoned politician recognized for her measured demeanor and collaborative instincts. Despite their contrasting approaches, both Trump and Harris appear to converge on key international issues. Harris champions multilateralism, emphasizing diplomacy and alliances. Trump, on the other hand, favors a more unilateral approach. He views international institutions with skepticism and often prioritizes bilateral agreements. Both candidates share an unwavering commitment to Israel's security. They also view China as a strategic competitor, albeit with different strategies to counter its growing influence. Even on issues like the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, their positions, while seemingly divergent, reveal underlying commonalities. The enduring power of national interest often trumps individual leadership styles. While the faces may change, the fundamental direction of U.S. foreign policy seems to remain on a remarkably consistent trajectory. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine serves as a litmus test for understanding the foreign policy approaches of Trump and Harris. Harris, a staunch critic of Putin's actions, advocates for unwavering support to Ukraine. She believes in maintaining a strong NATO alliance and continuing military and humanitarian aid to Kyiv. Trump, in contrast, adopts a more conciliatory tone towards Russia. He has expressed admiration for Putin's leadership and questioned the extent of U.S. involvement in the conflict. Despite their different approaches, both candidates recognize the strategic importance of Ukraine and the need to contain Russian expansionism. Their strategies may differ in terms of tone and tactics, but the underlying goal remains the same: to protect U.S. interests and maintain a balance of power in Europe. The Middle East, a region navigating a complex web of alliances and conflicts, is a crucial testing ground for U.S. foreign policy. Trump and Harris acknowledge the region's strategic importance and the need for a U.S. presence. Both are committed to Israel's security and support military aid. They recognize the threat posed by Iran and the need to counter its influence. Despite differences, both agree on a continued U.S. military presence in the Middle East. Perhaps no other foreign policy challenge looms larger for the U.S. than its relationship with China. Both Trump and Harris recognize China's growing economic and military might, viewing it as a strategic competitor. Trump's approach to China has been characterized by confrontation and a focus on economic competition. His administration imposed tariffs on Chinese goods and accused China of unfair trade practices. Harris, while acknowledging the challenges posed by China, advocates for a more measured approach. She believes in engaging with China on issues of mutual interest, while simultaneously pushing back against its assertive behavior. Despite their different approaches, both candidates recognize the need for a comprehensive strategy to address the China challenge. The question is not whether to engage with China, but how to do so effectively while protecting U.S. interests and values. Section 5. Harris, the diplomat's touch. Kamala Harris's foreign policy approach is rooted in her belief in diplomacy, multilateralism, and a rules-based international order. She advocates for a return to a more traditional foreign policy doctrine, emphasizing alliances, engagement, and a commitment to democratic values. Harris's emphasis on diplomacy is evident in her approach to resolving international conflicts. She believes in working with allies and international organizations to find peaceful solutions and address global challenges. Her approach to China exemplifies her belief in engagement and strategic competition. Harris's foreign policy vision reflects her belief in the enduring power of American leadership and the importance of working with allies to promote democracy, human rights, and a rules-based international order. Section 6. Trump, the Art of the Deal, Global Edition. Donald Trump's foreign policy approach, much like his domestic agenda, is defined by his America First philosophy. He views the world through a transactional lens, prioritizing American interests above all else. Trump's aversion to multilateralism is well documented. He has withdrawn the United States from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal. His approach to foreign policy is often driven by personal relationships and a belief in negotiating from a position of strength. Trump's foreign policy legacy is likely to be debated for years to come. Regardless of one's perspective, there is no denying that Trump's America First approach has left an indelible mark on U.S. foreign policy. Section 7. The limits of personality. The contrasting styles of Trump and Harris underscore an important point about foreign policy. While individual personalities matter, they are often overshadowed by the enduring power of national interest. The United States, as a global superpower, operates within a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and strategic imperatives that transcend the preferences of any single leader. The continuity of U.S. foreign policy across different administrations is a testament to the enduring nature of these interests. Whether it's containing Russian expansionism, managing the rise of China, or ensuring stability in the Middle East, certain core objectives remain constant regardless of who occupies the Oval Office. This is not to say that individual leaders don't matter. Their personalities, experiences, and worldviews undoubtedly shape the tone and tactics of U.S. foreign policy. However, even within these constraints, the fundamental direction of U.S. foreign policy tends to remain remarkably consistent. Despite the stark differences in their leadership styles and campaign rhetoric, a closer examination of Trump and Harris's foreign policy stances reveals a surprising degree of continuity. Both candidates share a commitment to key U.S. foreign policy objectives, albeit with different approaches and priorities. One area of continuity is their shared commitment to Israel's security. Another area of agreement is their recognition of China as a strategic competitor. Even on issues where their positions appear to diverge, such as the conflict in Ukraine, there are underlying similarities. This continuity in U.S. foreign policy objectives reflects the enduring power of national interest and the constraints imposed by the international system. While presidents may come and go, the fundamental challenges and opportunities facing the U.S. remain remarkably consistent. The 2024 election may usher in a change in style and tone, but the underlying direction of U.S. foreign policy is likely to remain on a familiar course. As the U.S. grapples with its domestic political divisions, the rest of the world watches and waits with anticipation and apprehension. The outcome of the 2024 election will have profound implications for global affairs, shaping international relations, trade, and security for years to come. For U.S. allies, the election is a source of hope and anxiety. Some hope for a return to a more predictable foreign policy. U.S. adversaries view the election with opportunism and caution. They see U.S. divisions as a chance to advance their interests. The world watches for the outcome and the policies of the next president. The world holds its breath, waiting to see how the U.S. will exercise its power and influence. While the 2024 election will undoubtedly have a significant impact on U.S. foreign policy, it is important to remember that the president is not the sole architect of America's global engagement. A complex interplay of factors, both domestic and international, shape the course of U.S. foreign policy, often pushing it in directions that transcend the preferences of any single individual. One such factor is the enduring power of institutions. The U.S. government, with its vast bureaucracy, established protocols, and entrenched interests, often operates with a degree of inertia that resists sudden or dramatic shifts in policy. Public opinion also plays a significant role in shaping U.S. foreign policy. The international environment itself also imposes constraints on U.S. foreign policy. The 2024 election will be a pivotal moment for U.S. foreign policy, but it is important to remember that the president is not acting in a vacuum. As the U.S. navigates a world in flux, one thing remains constant: the enduring power of national interest. Regardless of who occupies the White House, U.S. foreign policy will continue to be guided by a core set of objectives aimed at safeguarding American security, prosperity, and influence on the world stage. These interests are not static. They evolve over time in response to changing global dynamics and domestic priorities. The U.S. will continue to seek to maintain its global leadership position, protect its citizens from foreign threats, promote its economic interests, and uphold a rules-based international order that favors its values and interests. The 2024 election may bring a change in style and tone, but the fundamental direction of U.S. foreign policy is likely to remain tethered to these enduring national interests. The enduring power of national interest, however, suggests that while the tactics may change, the underlying goals of U.S. foreign policy are likely to endure.
So hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.